everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss the remaining part in the typecasting. So most of the part I have covered already in the previous episode. In this episode the remaining part of the typecasting we are going to cover. So typecasting, the next is string data type typecasting. So suppose that you have the data type in the different data type and then you want to convert into the string, then how we can do that? So with the help of str in the Python, this is the keyword, it is available in the Python. So with the help of str you can convert any data type into the Python, sorry, in the string. So suppose that you have the already in the string and you want to convert into strings, you can do it with the help of this one. It will be converted if you have the float number, and if you want to convert it you can do it. If you have the complex number and you just want to convert into the string, you can just call into the string, that will convert it. If you are true as an boolean, I want to convert into strings, you can do it. So either it is in the integer, either it is in the float, any data type, right? So if you want to convert, you can convert into the string data type. Now coming to the one more concept, that is under the mutability. So if I'm talking about the data type, versus the immutability, right? So if I'm talking about this topic, so if uh, all the data type which is available in the Python, so that is nothing but a immutable, so we cannot change the data, right? Always remember, all the fundamental data types are immutables, we cannot change. Once we create an object, we cannot perform any changes in the object, right? These are the fundamentals which we have discussed. And if you want to change the data, right, so in that case you have to create a new object. Suppose that you have a string data type, and if you want to change that, you can change, but it will create a new object. So that is nothing but a immutability. So we can, these are the fundamentals data type which we have discussed. We cannot change. If we want to change that, we can change, but that will create a different object. That is nothing but a non-changeability behavior of the fundamental data types, and it is nothing but a call as a immutabilities, right? So in the Python, all objects are whatever the fundamental data type we discuss, these are immutables, right? Now coming to list data types, right? So list data type is nothing but a data type which contain the heterogeneous element of data types into the square bracket. So this is nothing but a list data type. So it can be integer, it can be a string, it can be a float, okay? And all of them are comma separated and come in the square bracket. That is nothing but a call as a list data type, right? So this is the case where we discuss in the string data type that if you want to access any particular index, you have to pass the index value within a square bracket. Suppose that this is the list object and you want to get this data first index or 0th index. In that case you can call the object and then pass the index value into the square bracket, right? You can get the 0th index value. And similarly, if you want to get the last value of the items, list item, then you have to call the -1. -1 is nothing but a negative index, reverse index from the right side. What is the first index? That is nothing but a -1, and this is the -2, this is the -3 in the right to left. And coming to left to right, that is a positive index, and that is start from the 0 to till 1 2 3, like that. This is the 0th index. And if you want to fetch the range of the data, right, so first index to till third index. So what is the first index? This is the first index. And how many items? 20 and 30, right? This is the 0, first index, second index, third index. So we are going to select these items, right? So why it is showing as a third, but why we are selecting the second index still? So whatever the last index we are mentioning, we are selecting only one less index, okay? So if it is a third index, we are and index and steps is third index, right? So in that case we are selecting only till second index. Always remember the last index -1, So 1 to 3 means first index is this one, and 3 minus 1, that is a 2, second index. This data we are going to select, right? And now coming to the, suppose that I want to change the data in particular index, 0th index. This is the 100, I want to change with the, sorry, 10, I want to change with the 100 value, so we can change. List is the mutable, we can change the data. So L 0th index, we are going to change that with the L value of 100. Now if I'm going to iterate over this list, it will print the 0th index as a 100 changed value. So this is nothing but a short explanation about the list data type. Now coming to the tuple data types. So tuple data type is nothing but a data types which contain all the items, heterogeneous item, okay, means either the string, either the integer, any of the combinations within a parenthesis, right? So these are the parentheses within a data. This is nothing but a tuple, and all of them are comma separated, right? So this kind of data type which are contained within a parenthesis and comma separated, this is nothing but a call as a tuple data type. So tuple data type is exactly the same data type, okay, as a list data type, but this is immutable. Tuple is the immutable, we cannot change here. If you want to change, you can change with the help of passing the index in the list, but if you want to change the data, we cannot change. So this is nothing but a, in nutshell, tuple is the read only data type of the list. This is nothing but a read only. Once you create that, you cannot change that, okay. So what is the data type of T? This is nothing but a tuple. And suppose that I want to change the data, right? I want to change this 0th index of the data. So okay, so like I did in the list, but I want to change this data. So if I'm going to do that, right, so it will tell you that this is the type error, because this is a tuple data type, we cannot edit that. This is the immutable data type, right? Similarly, if I want to append that, I want to add any data into the existing tuple, we cannot do that because this is the immutable. If I'm going to do that, again it will do the attribute error, we cannot do that. So tuple, what is the difference between the list and tuple? So list is the mutable, we can change. Tuple is the immutable, we cannot change. List which within a contain the square bracket, tuple contain the parenthesis, right? Now coming to this range data type. So range data type is nothing but a kind of sequence we are going to generate, right? Suppose that we have a range from the 2 to 10, and how many steps? 3 steps. So this is nothing but a starting value, this is nothing but end value, and this is nothing but a how many incremental, means three steps, right? So this is nothing but a starting from the 2, and how many steps? 3 steps, 2 then 5 then 8, right? So if I'm going to print that, this will contain the 2 5 8. If similarly, if I'm going to range of the 10, this is nothing but a, this is nothing but a 0 comma 1 comma 2 like till 9. So I, whatever the mention item which we have mentioned, like 10 item, right? So if I'm going to count that, how many items are there? 10 items. And this is the value, right? How many values are there? 10 values. And if I'm going to mention that 10, it means that we have to represent the 1 minus, because it is starting from the 0. Next example of the range, if I'm going to mention the range of the uh, 0 to till 0 to till 9, right? So in that case, it will be going to start from the 0 till 8, right? 9 minus 1, 8 till 8. How many items are there? Total 9 items are there, including the 0. So if I'm going to mention the range of the 0 till 9, and by default it is the 1 steps, right? If I'm going to mention as in step 2, then in that case it will start from the 0, and then it will skip a 1, then 2, then 4, sorry 4, and then 6, like that, right? And then 8. So it is the nothing but a even number. it will skip the one steps. If I'm going to mention that same thing with 0 comma 10 comma 5 step, right? So it is nothing but the last is the 5 steps. So this is start from the, sorry, this is start from the 0 and how many steps? 5 step, right? So 5 plus 0, right? So it is skip 1 2 3 4 and this will be the 4, right? 1 2 3 4 and then 5, right? So this will be the 5 and then comma, last is again 4 5 plus 5 10, right? So this is nothing but a, so similarly these are the 5 steps. So if I am going to range from the uh, 3 to 5, right? 3 to 5 means this is nothing but starting from the 3 and then 4, not the 5. Why? 5 is the last item, right? So 5 minus 1, that is a 4. 3 and 4 only selected. So it's the same thing, range function will be work. So you need to understand this concept. This is the range data type. Now coming to the next example which we have explained for the two steps. And the same thing which we have discussed 10 to 20, starting from 10 to till 19. How many values? 10 values, right? So these are the some of the, last part is none data type. So a none data type is nothing but a which cannot contain any data, right? And nothing. So in that case, suppose that we have a function def, and deft we have a one function named m1 and we are just assigning the value a is equal to 10. That's it. If I'm going to call this function, this is not returning anything, right? This function is not returning anything. That's why the m1 function while calling that do not have any return type, that do not have any return type, that means the data type is nothing but a none. So if I'm going to call this, print this, calling this function, that is nothing but a returning the none data type, correct? Now the last part is nothing but a escape character. Some of the escape character are there that we should know about that. That is the slash n, right? Slash n means new line. So if I'm going to have this Dinesh slash n Kumar, so in that case it will print the value in the new line, right? How it's working, let's see. So if I'm going to comment out that, so Dinesh and then Kumar new line, this is nothing but a new line. If I'm going to use this tab, right, this tab, this is nothing but a slash t tab. So both of the output will be separated with the tab. If I'm going to use this symbol, right, this symbol, so this symbol we cannot directly use because this is a double quote, right? And within a double quotes data, if I'm going to use the double quote again, this will give you a syntax error. So to mention that this is nothing but a symbol, in that case we have to mention the slash. If I'm going to use this slash to mention that this is the one of the content of the string data type, and we can do that. If I'm going to print that, we can print, right? So these are the some of the escape characters which is available in the Python. We can use that as per our requirement, right? And this is nothing but a list data type, right? So list data type, these are the integer, these are the string, and these are the boolean. All the data type, multiple data types contained within a square bracket, that is nothing but a list data type. If I'm going to print that, if I'm going to iterate that list item into one by one, and we are printing the data along with the data type here. You see that this is then one of the example to print the data along with the data type, right? 10 int abc string true. So these are the some of the remaining parts in the fundamental. I hope you understand. Thank you so much for joining.